Thank you, Riv. And that game, not as close as our other
Wow.
tiebreaker. I mean, Sneaky, again,
Oh, yeah.
we've already had one conversation on the analyst desk today about Sneaky after their first game. But again, with the Draven just going off, mowing people down.
If we go back to yesterday's expectations of today, you're thinking CLG has this easily because Impulse looked awful, right? There's no way that CLG will lose. Cloud9 would beat TSM, and then we'd even see this game.
It was the
But now,
perfect
now they're second place. Unbelievable.
Yep. Yeah. And so the Draven, right? The Draven.
The Jarvan. The Zac.
The Jarvan. The Zac. We had the Vayne on the other side. Like,
Why the Vayne?
Why the Vayne?
That was just, it felt like he counterpicked himself. The Draven was locked in.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to pick Kalista or Vayne, and both those don't do very well against Draven. He just auto-attack trades them and wins.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
And Sneaky was allowed to build up some adoration stacks early in the top lane, rotated down bottom, and then we saw that one engagement. Meteos coming over the wall onto the Vi, picks up a double kill. So cashing in on those stacks, and then an extra 300 gold on top of that. And that comes back with a Youmuu's and a completed eye edge from there. He's
critting people for 800 at 27 minutes.
Like, he was so fed. He was so fed. Sneaky's Draven was awesome this game. And honestly, Cloud9 played really well.
Yeah.
Whether it was Cloud9 playing well or CLG being a step slow, it's probably a bit of both. Because the early game here, where Meteos picked up first blood in between the turrets, where CLG didn't seem to be on the faster side of any of the rotations, despite having wards down, and the fact that whenever they tried to make a collapse, it was completely out of sync and their team fights were scattered.
Yeah, we saw it even very early, too, that rotation into the top lane by Cloud9, which netted first blood to Meteos.
That's not what happens to CLG this year.
Exactly. And it's so it's very uncharacteristic. And in all honesty, I would have loved to have seen them pivot, because picking Draven into Lissandra Vi Hecarim doesn't seem like the smartest idea,
Black
right?
Shield.
Yeah.
Woo! Then you have Black Shield, yes, but it doesn't seem like the best idea. So you know what? Fine. Forfeit your Vayne pick that maybe you were building a comp around. Pick something that's just going to be consistent damage from the back line, that isn't, that doesn't have to be up close and personal and scale to a certain point in the game. Like, match them with their early and mid-game power, and maybe you can put up a fight. It just seemed a little stubborn, if anything, from CLG.
Yeah, I was also really confused as to why they didn't pick Sion for the top lane. Like, I personally don't like Hecarim as a pick in the top lane. He's so exploitable in lane swaps, and he needs that pressure on the one-on-one with the Ignite to actually get into the game and be a champion that has a huge force. And then late game, he's less damage. He's got this really big mid-game spike with Trinity Force. So Zion missed those spikes because they camped him, and Draven was way ahead. Even though he had some armor, it just surpassed it. So the fact that they were going into Champion Select with this strategy from CLG's side, you can tell that these teams had not had so much prep for this game, and that's another reason why C9...
Because nobody expected it.
Exactly, right? Nobody expected it. You can tell. And C9 were like, comfort picks. Let's just go with the Draven, go with the Zac. We trust each other. First pick Maokai. They picked the blue side just for that, and they let it through from CLG.
Yep. It didn't look like we'd have teams 1 and 2 from the summer split back as teams 1 and 2 at the end of this spring
nothing's
split.
really changed in the North American LCS.
After this whole crazy split, nothing changes. No, that's not true at all.